Welcome friends to Literature Mantra. I am Harsh Singh. This is practice test 4 and in this video we will continue our discussion on 100 most expected questions for JNU's MA English Entrance Exam. So exam से पहले अगर आप अपने preparation को fine tune करना चाहते हैं then do watch this video. और अगर आपने अभी तक practice test 1 नहीं देखा then do watch that as well. It will help you in your exam and the link is given below in the description. So शुरू करते हैं.
नए अपडेट्स के लिए आप हमें फॉलो कर सकते हैं फेसबुक पर या इंस्टाग्राम पर या यूट्यूब पर और लिटरेचर मंत्रा के साथ जुड़ना ना भूलें, भारत का एकमात्र फ्री ऑनलाइन प्रिपरेशन प्लेटफॉर्म यूजीसी नेट के लिए और इंग्लिश लिटरेचर से जुड़े हुए सभी एग्जाम्स के लिए. The next question is an extremely simplified form of language used for oral, verbal contact among a community whose members speak different languages but do not share a common language in order to fulfill the essential needs of communication. Which of the following is best described by this definition? A. Creole, B. Pidgin, C. Dialect, D. Lingua franca. So this is very easy यार. It is the correct answer is B. Pidgin. इसका तो definition ही यही है. But do make sure that you know what Creole means. You also know what Lingua franca means. Okay. Next question is, when my love swears that she's made of truth, I do believe her, though I know she lies. The author of these lines is A. Philip Sidney, B. Edmund Spenser, C. Christopher Marlowe, and D. William Shakespeare. See, this is a very famous line from Shakespeare's sonnet number 138. Okay, so correct answer is D. William Shakespeare. And one more thing, they can also ask you how many sonnets has William Shakespeare written. So इसका आंसर क्या है? 154. Okay, 154 is the total number of sonnets which Shakespeare wrote. Next question is, which of the following arrangements is in the correct chronological sequence? उसके बाद A. Mary Wollstonecraft's A Vindication of the Rights of Women, lyrical ballads by Wordsworth, then lyrical ballads with the preface, and then Edmund Burke's Reflection on the Revolution in France. Then B option, of course, blah blah blah. So इसका correct option या correct answer है number B. Because Edmund Burke's reflections on the revolution in France came first, and then it was Mary Wollstonecraft's Vindication of the Rights of Women, and then lyrical ballads, and of course the second edition of the lyrical ballads contained the preface. So ये जो है lyrical ballads with preface second edition, ये तो self explanatory है. The first edition has to be first and then comes the second edition. And see, the preface to lyrical ballads came out in 1802, whereas the first edition of lyrical ballads came out in 1798. And then ये जो work है Edmund Burke का, The Reflections on the Revolution in France, this was published in 1790. So सबसे पहले तो यही आया था. And Mary Wollstonecraft's work, A Vindication of the Rights of Women, this came out in 1792. Okay, so after Edmund Burke's work. So इसका correct answer है B. Next question. Fourth world literature refers to 1. The works of native people living in a land that has been taken over by non-natives. 2. The works of black people in the United States. 3. The literature of the marginalized. 4. Refers to the works of non-heterosexuals. उसके बाद यहाँ पे ऑप्शंस दिए हुए हैं. वेल आप लोगों ने सुना होगा थर्ड वर्ल्ड के बारे में. अब ये फोर्थ वर्ल्ड क्या होता है ना? फोर्थ वर्ल्ड लिटरेचर बेसिकली रिफर्स टू वर्क्स रिटन बाय पीपल लिविंग इन अ लैंड दैट हैज बीन टेकन ओवर बाय नॉन नेटिव्स. ओके, दैट हैज बीन टेकन ओवर बाय नॉन नेटिव्स. उस वहाँ के लिटरेचर को या उन लोगों के लिटरेचर को फोर्थ वर्ल्ड लिटरेचर कहते हैं, ब्रॉडली स्पीकिंग. सो इसमें आप इंक्लूड कर सकते हो द ट्राइबल ग्रुप्स और द आदिवासीज ऑफ इंडिया. इसमें आप इंक्लूड कर सकते हो द original inhabitants of Australia or the aborigines of Australia, and then the native people of America or the red Indians of America. So all of those, the literature produced by all of these can be clubbed under fourth world literature. And as I said, ये एक broad या umbrella term है. So इसमें बहुत सारे groups को include किया जा सकता है, but the primary definition is literature written by those people or the natives of a place whose land has been taken over by the non-natives. ये primary definition use किया जाता है. So अगर options देखें तो first option है the works of native people living in a land that has been taken over by non-natives. Of course this is correct. Then second option, the works of black people in the United States. Well ये wrong है, this is wrong because see the black people of America didn't live there from the very start. They were brought to America as slaves. Okay, so this can't be the option. Now number 3 is the literature of marginalized. Well, broadly speaking, इसको भी आप include कर सकते हो, because more often than not what happens is if the natives have been overwhelmed by newcomers, तो वो लोग marginalized हो ही जाते हैं. So broadly speaking आप include कर सकते हो. So 1 and 3 is correct. And then last option 4th है refers to the works of non-heterosexuals. Non-heterosexual basically refers to the LGBT community. Okay. सो ब्रॉडली स्पीकिंग इनको भी इंक्लूड कर सकते हैं, लेकिन ये बहुत आंसर बहुत ब्रॉड हो जाएगा. सो माई सजेशन वुड बी लिमिटेड टू 1 and 3 विच इज़ ऑप्शन बी. बट अगर एग्ज़ाम में ये क्वेश्चन आता है तो यू हैव फुल डिस्क्रिशन फ्रॉम माई साइड टू मार्क D as well. Okay, so it will depend upon what you exactly think. So you can also include the 4th option 1, 3 and 4. तो ये भी हो सकता है, बट मेरा सजेशन ये है कि जस्ट लिमिट योर आंसर टू 1 and 3 ऑप्शन बी. ओके, जस्ट लिमिट इट टू द लिटरेचर ऑफ द मार्जिनलाइज्ड, वहाँ तक लिमिट रखना, बिकॉज अदरवाइज यू कैन गो ऑन इंक्लूडिंग एनीबडी इन दिस ग्रुप. नाउ वी हैव अ पैसेज हियर. सो basically it's about the legitimacy of the notion of literature. Okay, so this is what this passage is about. So just read this passage and I'll just tell you the answers. Now first question है इसका, this passage casts doubt on, the answer is notion of literature, D, the notion of literature. Then next question, literature is unsustainable because, now इसका answer है D, we cannot prove that its definitions are the right and the only possible ones. Next question, might we be dealing with a historical phenomenon rather than an eternal one? What makes this a reasonable question to consider in this context? Now इसका answer है A, a historical phenomenon lends itself to better empirical verification than an eternal one. Next question, what does fragmentation characteristic of literature today suggest to the writer? इसका answer है C, the lack of specificity of literature. Next question, Tolstoy's War and Peace carries a lengthy discussion of determinism and free will in dash. Now A option है its prologue, B option an exchange between Pierre and Natasha, C an exchange between Nikolai Rostov and Princess Bezukhoi, and D its epilogue. See, इसका correct answer है D, its epilogue. And see, I have selected this question because Tolstoy is a very famous writer and you might get questions on Tolstoy. So do some research on Tolstoy and his important works. Okay. Next question, which character of Henrik Ibsen speaks the following lines? The life of a normally constituted idea is generally about 17 or 18 years, at the most 20. A. Nora in A Doll's House, B. Dr. Thomas Stockman in An Enemy of the People, C. John Rosmer in Rosmer's Column, and D. Oswald in Ghosts. The correct answer here is B, Dr. Thomas Stockman in An Enemy of the People. Okay, next question. You will find the following lines in an English poem. Thou by the Indian Ganges' side shouldst rubbies find, I by the tide of Humber would complain. Which poem? Who is the poet? A. Lonely Hearts, Wendy Cope, B. Holy Thursday, William Blake, C. Tiger Mask Ritual, Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni, D. To His Coy Mistress, Andrew Marvell. Now the correct answer here is D, To His Coy Mistress by Andrew Marvell. So just have a look here. Okay, this is the poem of Andrew Marvell, To His Coy Mistress, and here are the lines. Thou by the Indian Ganges' side shouldst rubbies find, I by the tide of Humber would complain. Okay, next question. Who among the following has written the essay The Indian Jugglers? A. Charles Lamb, B. William Hazlitt, C. Thomas D. Quince, D. Thomas Love Peacock. The correct answer here is B, William Hazlitt. And one more thing, I hope you all know what juggling means. Juggler होता क्या है? वो होता है ना सर्कस में जो जगलिंग करते हैं, बहुत सारे बॉल ले लेते हैं हाथ में और ऊपर राउंड राउंड फेंकते हैं वो लोग. It's difficult to explain. Just search it on Google if you don't know what actually juggling is. Okay. Next question is, the Oxford Companions are handy reference volumes for teachers and students of English. Identify one volume that has not yet appeared in this series. A. The Oxford Companion to 20th century literature in English, B. The Oxford Companion to Canadian Literature, C. The Oxford Companion to American Literature, D. The Oxford Companion to Indian Literature in English. So here the correct answer is D. The Oxford Companion to Indian Literature in English. Okay. Next question. With all the eagerness to know the truths of life, she retained very childlike ideas about marriage. Dash dash. The really delightful marriage must be that when your husband was a sort of a father and could even teach you Hebrew if you wished it. Now, she is the protagonist in one of George Eliot's novels. Who is she? A. Romola, B. Hetty Sorrel, C. Maggie, D. Dorothea. Well, it's very simple. If you have read Middlemarch, then you know the answer. The answer is D. Dorothea. Next question is the term poetic justice to designate the idea that the good are rewarded and the evil punished was devised by A. Aristotle, B. John Dryden, C. Thomas Rhymer, D. Ben Jonson. And the correct answer is Thomas Rhymer. See, Thomas Rhymer was an English literary critic, and his idea about literature was that a good piece of literature is that which upholds goodness or virtues or moral principles and tends to instruct the reader. So when it says poetic justice, those who are good will be rewarded and those who are bad will be punished at the end of a play or a novel or anything. Next question. Which among the following texts can be characterized as a lesbian Bildungsroman? A. Angela Carter, The Magic Toy Shop, B. Sylvia Plath, The Bell Jar, C. Janet Winterson, Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit, and D. Ruth Pawar, Jawala, Heat and Dust. Now, इसका सही आंसर है C. Janet Winterson, Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit. Okay. Now, next question. Identify from the following the work Nirad C. Chaudhary called, within quotes, the finest novel in the English language with an Indian theme, unquote. Now, A option Kim, B. A Passage to India, उसके बाद C. Train to Pakistan, and D. Private Life of an Indian Prince. इस क्वेश्चन में ऐसा कुछ एनालिटिकल तो है नहीं, ईदर यू नो इट और यू डोंट नो इट, एंड ये काफ़ी फेमस सा लाइन है, दैट्स व्हाई आई थॉट आई विल गिव दिस क्वेश्चन, एंड इसका करेक्ट आंसर है ए. किम. सो दिस इज द novel which Nirad C. Chaudhary calls the finest novel in English language with an Indian theme. Next question. The various symbols used in Girish Karnad's Tughlaq are associated with, now first है pythons, then vultures, third wasps, and fourth butterflies. So the correct combination, you have to choose the correct combination, and the correct answer here is A, 1 and 2. Okay, pythons and vultures. So this is purely a factual question. इसमें ऐसा कुछ analytical है ही नहीं. There's nothing to explain. So if you have read this, or even if you have read the summary of this, you know what the answer is. अगर आपने नहीं पढ़ा, then you know it's so difficult to do it. It's just almost impossible. Okay. Next question. This novel by Lawrence was greeted with the headlines, "A book the police should ban. Loathsome study of sex depravity, misleading youth to unspeakable disaster." Its opening chapter was originally suppressed. Name the novel. A. Lady Chatterley's Lover, B. The Rainbow, C. Women in Love, D. The White Peacock. The correct answer here is C. Women in Love. See, D.H. Lawrence के काफ़ी सारे books ban हुए हैं, and amongst the famous ones are Lady Chatterley's Lover. ये तो काफ़ी जगह बैन हुआ था. Even Women in Love जो है, even this was banned for some time in the UK, and the primary reason why these books used to get banned was that it depicted a lot of obscenity. That was the reason. That was the primary reason. Okay. Next question. Who amongst the following does not belong to the great tradition enunciated by F.R. Leavis? A. Joseph Conrad, B. James Joyce, C. Jane Austen, D. George Eliot. So in this work, The Great Tradition, what F.R. Leavis does is he names 4 main novelists: Jane Austen, George Eliot, Henry James, and Joseph Conrad, okay, as great novelists of the past. And then later on he also says that D.H. Lawrence can be regarded as their successor or somewhat great as them. So अगर यहाँ पे options में देखें तो of course Joseph Conrad is correct, Jane Austen is there, George Eliot is there. and the only option which is not correct is James Joyce. Okay, so here the answer is B, James Joyce. With this, I conclude this video, and don't forget to see the next part. It will help you in your MA entrance exam, और next part का link नीचे दिया हुआ है description में. Okay.